Hey folks, alright, we're coming to you live from the 6th floor of the Hiawatha here in Portland, Maine. And we are back at it with the Rug Rhinos. So you've probably, well maybe, seen the video that it's going to be coming out on Monday. It's my 10th place run in the Saturday challenge. And so, yeah, regrettably, I played a 13 card sideboard. So this is what I would play with a 15 card sideboard. Mystical Dipsute in the 4th Endurance. And just one thing I'm doing is the split between Murktide Regent and Minsc in the main. I've tried this a bit. I think it works pretty well. Minsc, well, just if you have to use a bunch of Spirit Guides to drop out a Violent Outburst, for instance, it can be a lot easier to follow up with Murktide Regent than a Minsc. And the 2-2 split's been working out pretty well. Murktide's a nice card. It can block opposing flyers. Pitch to Force of Will. Pretty much does it all. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. And then so we just have trim backed on Fire and Ice and Brazen Borrower to get room for the Mystical Dipsutes and the Murktide Regents in the main deck. And of note, we're no longer playing Blood Moon, which I think is okay. I mean, Blood Moon is pretty good. But, well, we also have like Murktide Regent to close out games. Like, what's better against Delver? Or, you know, blue-black scam, like Murktide or Blood Moon. Well, Murktide is on counter, well, can't be countered by Spell Pierce. And, well, it just plays a different role than just being another 3-drop that you jam and eases up your Spirit Guides. So, yeah, this is what I like right now. We'll give it a shot and see how it goes. Okay. So we're up against Since Dark. Okay. Alright, so it's a suspend Crashing Footfalls, holding up Force of Negation hand. I mean, these are a little weak on the draw, but I think I usually regret mulliganing these. It's like a draw anything hand. And we have a lot of we're on the draw, so we have more draw steps. I mean, I guess that's the upside about keeping this kind of hand on the play, where it's more tempting because, you know, you're suspending their footfalls a turn sooner. See, my opponent has a clever name that's hard to search for on MTGO. I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. There's a bunch of good draws here. Yeah, we'll give it a shot. Okay. Ancient Tomb. Chalice on 1. Well, our deck completely ignores that, so that's not a terrible start. Okay. You don't even have to use the Boseiju here, so the Tropical Island is a pretty good draw. So it's just a question of like what flavor of Ancient Tomb deck are we up against. Eight cast or Moonstompy or Initiative. Right, Cavernous Souls, so this should be telling, but I'd say not 8 cast and I guess most likely Initiative. A human. Simian Spirit Guide. Table of the Mirror Breaker. Ooh, okay, so there's one I can Force of Negate. Alright, what's the draw here gonna be? Simian Spirit Guide. Alright, so I think I'm playing Elvish Spirit Guide here. Any kind of board presence is good. So I could try to keep the Seagate Restoration in hand in case I draw Force of Will, and also have the opportunity to force something. But probably keeping Boseiju is important in case they play Chalice on 0. Of course, I have to pay 3 life to get this Boseiju into play. Rhinos are on 3 counters. Alright, I think I just can't afford to give up the the Boseiju, and I'm just going to play the Spirit Guide. Not the most exciting, but it is something on board. Okay, so they're just passing. There's a land. Well, we're gonna get a little army going here. Okay, well, my opponent's just passing. Sadly, just drawing lands also. I think there's no reason to let them know I have nada. We'll keep the Scalding Tarn in hand. Okay. Well, those Force of Negation, Crashing Footfalls, Suspend hands are weird. They keep weirdly winning. But man, yeah, we were gonna be bricking there. Holy smokes. Okay. Okay, so this is the sideboarding I like to do. You'd have to, I mean, Force Negation and Mystical Dipsute are obviously coming out, and then it's just a question of whether Murktide or Minsc would be better. I suppose they could have Karakas, but Minsc pitches to both Force of Vigor and Fury. Okay, here we got a Force of Vigor, Minsc, turn 1 Cascader. Rally on 0. Okay. Well, I probably won't need 2 Minsc. Otherwise, I was gonna say that I'm probably just not gonna suspend Crashing Footfalls. Maybe I should have fetched the basic forest, although we have the green off Elvish Spirit Guide anyway. Archon. Well, that would have been a reason to have the Fable. Okay, well, this is going to make for a pretty good Force of Vigor. Brotherhood's End is not a bad one. But I suppose we're a little far from casting it. So we'll take out their Shaman. No reason not to double block. And a Kiki Jinky. Or the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. In Spirit Guide. Well, that will cast the Brotherhood's End, or possibly a Minsc and Boo if I get the opportunity. Rest of Plowshares. Okay. Well, the good news is they only have one card in hand. I mean, I guess I could have Brotherhood's ended to take out their 2/2. That seems fairly soft. And they have the Chalice right on time. That's oh, okay, never mind. We still have 2 counters left. All right. Good news, everyone. All right. Well, it looks like they are going to pass the turn without using this treasure token. I'm going to attack first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the Brotherhood's End resolves. So I probably will deploy the Fury this turn. Although if they do play an Archon right now, I don't know why they wouldn't have done that before. But anyway, Fury's going to be coming down. Fourth Earlingus. Well, the good news is that we're going to get the Monarchy. I suppose they could rip Swords to Plowshares off the Monarchy and play it with their treasure token. That would be pretty good. But we are about to get an army of Rhinos here. Well, they didn't immediately Swords to Plowshares me. All right, here come the Rhinos. All right, Minsc and Boo doing what it's supposed to. Though Merc Tide Regent would be pretty good here also. Yeah, I guess I don't really see how I can get punished for not taking out their 2/2 guy. Them getting more mana, it does seem bad. No swords, so we've got the Monarchy, and a bunch of blockers, and yeah, maybe we'll draw a blue card. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so like an Archon doesn't really matter here, and they won't be able to get the Monarchy back. So I guess they could have Cavernous Souls into an uncounterable thing. Have another Cavern. Okay. Well, double block. Yeah, we did not fall for the trick of not double blocking. Okay. Alright, round 2. On the play. Okay. Think I'll keep. Yeah, we're just gonna jam turn 1 Shardless Agent. And follow it up with a turn 3 Shardless Agent. So I'll start on the basic island. Sometimes I don't mind being wastelanded. But if I'm gonna clearly be following up with the Shardless Agent on turn 3, we'll want to play Snow-Covered Island, then Scalding Tarn, and then Tropical Island. Make sure we don't get wastelanded off the second Shardless Agent. Alright. We're in there. Cascade resolves. Ancient Tomb. Lotus Petal. Cheeky. Or Fable of the Mirror Break. Okay, well that was a pretty good draw. The opponent is contemplating blocks. Ooh, they are going to take the trade here. I like that. Okay. And we'll follow it up with some more Rhinos. Okay, see what they want to discard here. Find out a little bit more about what's going on with the opponent's deck. But I don't think Moonstompy... Oh, it's going to be Painter, okay. So they could actually maybe pull off a crazy win here. If I do need 6 mana to do it, right? 4 mana for the Grindstone and activation, and then 2 mana for Paint. Thankfully, they did not accomplish that. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to run the same Stompy sideboarding that I have been. Okay. You know, I think actually against the Stompy deck, or I'm gonna just include a couple copies of Endurance. I think that's worth doing. Yep. For you know, the Goblin Welders and Engineers, and then possibly fucking Endurance myself. I mean, there is some consideration of keeping a Mystical Dispute for paint everything blue, but I just think we have too many powerful cards in the sideboard to do that. Well, the double Crashing Footfalls is just a bit of a mulligan, although I like the Shardless Agent and the Boseiju. But yeah, I think that tiny hand is just a little underpowered. Now this is a Force of Vigor double Crashing Footfalls hand. Well, at least here I can suspend the Crashing Footfalls and hope that Force of Vigor is good. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep here and put back the Force of Will. I don't love it. I don't want going to 5 either. I mean, maybe I should, but we have the Force of Vigors here. The Force of Vigor. And Endurance. Magus of the Moon. Well, that does nothing. Simian Spirit Guide, a potentially okay draw. Especially if we had a Violent Outburst. Goblin Welder. Okay. Okay, so they kept a 1-lander on the strength of this Magus of the Moon. And there's a land. So if I suspend the other Crashing Footfalls, I don't get to Endurance and Force of Vigor. Yeah, I think the Crashing Footfalls just has to stay in hand. And I can see Endurance maybe doing enough to win here. On a pretty slow start over there. Okay. They're probably running a Black Splash. There's a Violent Outburst. So that's a pretty good one. So this is probably going to be a blowout. I almost want to let the Magus of the Moon live. Yeah, I really don't care about having my red mana or blue mana cut off at this point. Playing a Painter Servant. Painting it blue. Okay, so they just played an Urza Saga, which went to the straight to the graveyard because of Magus of the Moon. So talk about value. But I am just going to go ahead and Force of Vigor the Painter Servant on their end step. And avoid getting my Rhinos hit by Pyroblast. 2 counters left on the suspended Crashing Footfalls. Fury. Okay. And some glitch in the feed here. And yeah, I'll just take out the Painter Servant. Try to hold out for more value. Yeah. But yeah, the problem is getting my Rhino red blasted. Okay. There's the Grindstone. Here come the Rhino reinforcements. Okay. And so we have 2 endurances to survive with here. If they do manage to grind us. So I think we'll be okay. Okay, that's the map. Alright, round 3. On the play. Alright, well this hand just doesn't do anything. Okay, like what I see here. So we can suspend Crashing Footfalls. And then we'll start jamming Cascaders. And so keeping Seagate Restoration in hand probably makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so we'll fetch basic forest, and then leave up Misty, uncracked most likely, and then play the Seagate Restoration last. Then there's some situations where we might draw a Force of Will or something, or other lands. But yeah. Alright, a Once Upon a Time strat. Alright, they revealed some card I've never heard of before. Okay. So they're gonna Delighted Halfling out this crazy 1/1. Interesting. Ooh, a Simian Spirit Guide. So that's like the nut draw, huh? So I think I just want to fetch Volcanic Island here and play a Shardless Agent. Yeah, that's in. Okay. And let's see what the opponent can muster here. Okay, so they played a Scrubland. They're going to play Virtus the Veiled. Okay. You know, I was thinking Partner was just this crazy commander mechanic. Okay. Well, that's interesting, but I don't think that's going to be good enough here. I mean, they're not going to be able to attack for a bit here with this boy. So, yeah, I'm just going to attack here. If they want to trade with one of my Rhinos, that's cool. Okay, so no blocks. So we'll hit them with the old Violent Outburst. Okay. So if they attack with Virtus, I mean, I believe I'm just not going to block, right? Or, I mean, I just go to 8. I can't imagine they could have 8 points, additional points of reach. Okay. They don't see how either. So it is a bit of a rogue strat. And obviously I want Brotherhood's End and Fury. I can trim Mystical Dispute and Force of Negation's the first thing that comes to mind. So they did play a Scrubland, so they could have Deafening Silence. Maybe... And I could take a chance on Force of Vigor and do something like this. I mean, they probably have some kind of permanent base disruption. I think I'm just going to make the Force of Vigors into Force of Negations. And I'm just going to try it like this. Okay, so on the draw, got this Force of Negation Fury hand. This hand kind of stinks, but it does have Fury. But Force of Negation, I don't even know if it does anything. Although if they do have Deafening Silence, I'll be happy I had it. So this is kind of a, if I manage to draw anything, it's not terrible. The lands aren't awful. I mean, I could potentially hardcast a Fury. I just don't think this hand does anything. Okay. Alright, so this hand is going to be a put-back Minsc and Boo situation. I think this has to be better. We've got the Force of Will, and then potentially Brotherhood's End. Oh man, the opponent's on a mulligan to 4. 3. Okay, well, they kept on 3 cards here. Thoughtseize. So do I want to force this? So they'll have 1 card left. Probably do. It would just be awful to have them take my Shardless Agent and just never draw anything, even though Force would be able to buy a bunch of time. Okay. Alright, well, we have the Brotherhood's Ends. Witherbloom Apprentice. I see. Okay, well, this is going to put us in a bit of a conundrum. I think it makes sense to just hope that they don't draw Chain of Smog for 1 turn here. It certainly could happen, though. But it's better to get this huge clock down. There we go. Watch them peel the Chain of Smog here. Alright, well, they're wastelanding me. And they did not play Chain of Smog. Okay. Alright, so we're going to attack. And then we're going to not take any chances with any Witherbloom or any Chain of Smogs. Even though it would be nice to kill them this turn, but I have to imagine they're pretty much dead anyway. Okay, great. Okay, round 4. We've won the die roll. Yep, this hand is good. Well, we're missing a red source. But otherwise, we have Force. We have some forces to buy time. Alright, well, my opponent has an exclusive track record of playing Omni-Tell. So I'm gonna go ahead and keeping this. Okay. We'll just start with Basic Island, which potentially enables Force of Negation to be cast off of Seagate Restoration. Although if that's the kind of play I'm going to want to make, I'm really unsure. Alright, the opponent gets Snow-Covered Island and plays Ponder. Alright, so are we going to rip a red source here, is the question. Alright, they chose not to shuffle. Okay, well, ice is a potentially good draw. Yeah, I'm just gonna ice their land here. We are looking for a red source. I'm pretty okay with getting them to brainstorm before their draw step. Another force isn't terrible. Okay, there's the red source. Good news, everyone. I'm just gonna do the Violent Outburst right now. It's not very likely they can show and tell from this point. And then there's like a chance they might have Flusterstorm. Okay. Okay, so I think from here there is upside. If I hadn't drawn this blue card, I don't think I would be playing the Seagate Restoration. But I think there is some upside now where I can hardcast Force of Negations. Possibly pay for a Spell Pierce. Yep, so here's the show and tell. Well, well, I know what I said, but like, what's the... Maybe I just Force of Negate this, pitching Force of Will to start and see what they do. Because if I Force of Negation this and then they Flusterstorm, it's just that it looks like they do play some Flusterstorms, although they're playing a different build, it looks like, than what... Here's the last list they played online. I mean, so they probably play Veil of Summer and not Flusterstorm, right? No, but they tapped the forest. And they're holding up a blue. Alright, I think I'm gonna...
Hey, here we go. Let's tune in a little bit.
Oh,
See what's up.
have another Magic player here. Okay. Alright. Okay. Well, I guess it worked. Very good. Alright, well, I'm not exactly sure what flavor of blue-green they're playing, but Mystical Dispute and Inevitable Betrayal seem like they'll be good. So Force of Vigor has the potential to hit Omniscience, which they're most certainly playing. Possibly Sylvan Library. I mean, Fire and Ice I don't think is that good. I do want Murktide and Minsc because I think it's easy for them to Flusterstorm Inevitable Betrayal, and so another win con is nice. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try this, and we'll see if Force of Vigor is just a dud or not. Okay, well this seems like a pretty nice hand. It's gonna be hard to tap out into Shardless Agent, but maybe we'll get a window. Of course, draw the Inevitable Betrayal, but at least it pitches to Force of Will. But it means we kind of only have one crack at cascading into it. But that's why we left Minsc and Murktide in the deck. So. Preordained. Well, I don't really want to Mystical Dispute that. And so one thing is that these Omni-Tell players have gotten pretty smart, I think. Well, it seems like they typically only run Emrakul. Like, we see that in this basically mono-blue Omni-Tell build. You can't, like, win the game on the spot, like, if you could grab Atraxa or Gristlebrand. I don't think it makes too much of a difference between playing Wooded Foothills here. Kind of looking to draw mana. I guess ideally our opponent would go for it. We'd win the counter war, then untap and Shardless Agent. But they're probably not right about to go for it. Well, there's a Force of Vigor. A little pause on my end step there. They're just going to pass. Elvish Spirit Guide. Well, I have 8 cards in hand. So I guess I'm going for it. At least we have Mystical Dispute as some kind of protection. There's a Flusterstorm. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to not fight over this. It doesn't really seem... Yeah, I could force... Yeah, there's just no way. But we at least have a Shardless Agent to attack with. Alright, here's the City of Traders. Okay, so they're gonna go for a show and tell. And I suppose I should just use a Mystical Dispute on this while the getting's good. Veil of Summer. Alright, so I'm gonna force pitching the Inevitable Betrayal. Okay, so they got a force, a Flusterstorm targeting force, 2 of them, and then a bunch on Mystical Dispute. Doesn't matter too much, but I'll just force the show and tell from here. I do get to draw a card off the Veil of Summer. It is what it is. I have to click no on all these, or some of them. Dang. Yeah, I'm not able to cast this Force of Vigor, sadly. So they're able to untap and show and tell again. That'll be good for them. Okay. Force of Vigor's live. So I think like Murktide Regent is the best draw here. But if I draw Minsc and Boo, I'll jam it. I am gonna thin my deck here and grab the Taiga. Okay, Force of Will. Well, that's a playable card. It'd be nice to double the clock and play out a Spirit Guide, but I would say that is not an option from this point. Just where we need to hold up 5 mana to play Force of Will. Okay, they're gonna let their City of Traders go without tapping for mana. Seagate Restoration. I think I'm gonna play the Simian Spirit Guide here. And double the clock. They only have potentially 2 Flusterstorms left in the deck. Sure, you can have an Impulse. A Minsc and Boo, yeah, could win the game off the top this way as well. I guess these Force of Vigors don't seem great. It seems like they're not on a defense grid strat. So I'll just make them back into Fire and Ice. There's a game 3. Okay. Alright, so we survived that turn without getting punished for tapping out a bit for a Simian Spirit Guide. Okay, well, we have all the Force of Vigor. So this is it here, the moment of truth. Ponder, sure. Chose not to shuffle. And a Brainstorm. All right, well, they're really digging here. If they do find the show and tell or the missing piece or whatever, maybe Force of Vigor on the Omniscience will get it done. Okay. Brainstorm's resolved. Another Brainstorm, okay? And there's the show and tell. Okay. Well, I feel like they're gonna avail this. Okay. Alright. Okay, round 5. I'd like to play first. I'd like to keep. Alright, the opponent will need to combo pretty fast. Otherwise, we'll Violent Outburst into Violent Outburst. And then another 2 turns after that, have another Crashing Footfalls resolve. Plateau, okay. So maybe another Ancient Tomb strat. Play the Volcanic Island here. Video Traders, the Archon of Emeria. So the bad news is, of course, that we're not going to get to Violent Outburst again next turn. So that could turn this game around in our opponent's favor. I guess Force of Will would be a really great draw. Force of Negation, huh? Alright, well maybe we'll get to Force of Will, a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay, they're playing a Chrome Mox. Well, I'm gonna take that as my Force of Negation. And hope that they cannot play a 4-drop now. And if they play a Kiki Jiki or a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, I'll be fine with that. Okay. Another Seagate Resto. So, I believe the Rhino reinforcements do come in next turn. So I think, do I want to like Violent Outburst here just to squeeze in a couple extra points of damage? I guess I could keep it as a surprise for next turn, maybe. I think it's probably, there's always the chance that they have to chump block with Archon of Emeria next turn. Okay. Alright, yeah, not super keen on this Violent Outburst then. We just got a Fade Chalice on 0 here, pretty much. They want to play like a Seasoned Dungeoneer. I'll deal with it. But yeah, it looks like they are going for a 4-drop. Fable, okay. Okay, well that seems pretty good. So we get to resolve the Crashing Footfalls. I guess I should have sacrificed on their end step, but I think I would just get basic island anyway. I'll attack. And yeah, I'm just gonna play out the Simian Spirit Guide. Nope. Oh, I already played a spell this turn, of course. That one gets me every time. I will play Seagate Restoration tap there. Okay, they scooped it up. All right, well. we're just gonna run the usual strat here. If it ain't broke, you know, don't fix it. Alright, so we've got a pretty do-nothing hand on the draw here. I'm gonna keep. And I guess I'll put back this Misty Rainforest. They have like a turn 1 Archon. Having a duel is going to be good compared to another fetch land. Then probably getting basic forest would be better than fetching basic island if we're in the market for that kind of thing. Alright, well there's a Chalice on 0. And there's a Fable. Alright, well, maybe we'll rip Force of Vigor here. Oh. Okay. Oh, they might get us here with our lack of interaction. Yeah, there's a Cave of Chaos, you know, adventurer. I guess I'm gonna search for Volcanic Island here. Or I guess Taiga's fine. And hope to draw Brotherhood's End or something. Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna get blown out by this Chalice on 0. I could play out a Simian Spirit Guide. I think I'm just gonna pass here. I mean, it doesn't really. At least we'll be dead quick here. Playing out a Simian Spirit Guide, so I could block a Goblin Shaman token maybe. I mean, with a 7/5 Caves of Chaos Adventure, we're pretty much donezo here. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna run it back. I mean, you could try to have Murktide in as another card that evades Chalice, but we already have Fury and Minsc can boot. Do that as well. But this hand does not do enough. So this hand has some interaction. And I guess I'll put back a Volcanic Island. Maybe a Tropical Island. And we can see what they want to do here. Alright, they want to start on a Chrome Mox. Seasoned Dungeoneer. The Archon of Emeria. So I'll get this Taiga. Okay. Right, I can't Brotherhood's End this turn. Well, hopefully they play something else that plays into Brotherhood's End. Yeah, the Archon's just gonna do it here. They're about to play a Dungeoneer, probably. Well, maybe it's the Caves of Chaos Adventure. Okay, that's a start. Simian Spirit Guide. So I'm definitely gonna Brotherhood's End. Still have this, it's the Elvish Spirit Guide to pitch to Force of Vigor. Alright, Wooded Foothills is in. Then, I mean, I could force this Chrome Mox, but they've got a Plains. So I think that would be quite pointless. Alright, they're doing a Scry. They kept 2 on top, so. Here comes an Anointed Peacekeeper. Yeah, can't do anything about this. So I think the best draw here is probably going to be like Minsc and Boo. But I think are they just going to name Crashing Footfalls or what? Yeah, they did name Crashing Footfalls. Alright, well, Minsc and Boo off the top, maybe? Elvish Spirit Guide. Okay. Well, actually, that's pretty good, huh? Alright, well, if they don't have much else in hand, we'll be in an okay spot. They are going into the stash, so that's not too scary. Maybe by some miracle I'll be able to take the initiative here, but we'll see. Okay, well, the opponent thought I was bugged, but it was the second Spirit Guide that was, Well, it sounds like they're not sure about their position. But I don't know, I'm concerned still on my end, but maybe they don't have much else. But they did scry to the top. Okay. So what's this? Another Caves of Chaos Adventure. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd really need to like rip another. If I rip another Brotherhood's End, that would really. I feel like that's the way out of this. Ooh, Brazen Borrower. Well, that's actually a pretty good rip, huh? So what do I want to do? Probably attack with everything. Yeah, that's definitely happening. Yep. Alright, I'm just gonna attack with everything. and see what happens. I feel like there's no way I can survive the Throne of the Dead 3. I'm only going to be on initiative level 1. Okay, so they blocked the skeleton token. I think I just bounced the skeleton token. And then they still get the Throne of the Dead 3. Once they attack, but I mean, well, this seems like my best shot. I suppose another Cascader would have been a crazy draw on my turn, but anyway. They're gonna attack. Reveal Simian Spirit Guide. Now they get to go. I don't know what else I could have done better. I think if maybe Solitude, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get through this, sadly. I mean, Brotherhood's End would still be like an okay draw. Force of Vigor. Well, these were terrible. Yep. I'd say it's pretty rough. Yeah, maybe like Force of Vigor is just like secretly a bad card, and I should look at trimming more of these. I mean, usually Brotherhood's End is just a lot better. Okay, well, there's something I can Force of Vigor. And I guess it's not quite over yet. I'm gonna play this Brazen Borrower. Okay. All right. Okay, they get to, yeah, all right, yeah. So, yeah, I'm just gonna play the Brazen Borrower, and I think that should do it here. Nice. Yep, that ain't gonna save me. I can attack. And, yeah, alright, well, we're dead. Yeah. Alright, well, we did beat 2 Ancient Tomb decks. I couldn't get against the 3rd Ancient Tomb deck. But the Ancient Tomb matchup, you can see, well, the Red-White Initiative matchup can be pretty rough. Yeah, Force of Vigor is just underwhelming whereas more Brotherhood's End and Furies would be a lot better. The whole reason to bring in Force of Vigor, I mean, it's like lands, I think, is the one place. Those are pretty much the only enchantments, right? I guess you see these black scam decks that play Leyline of the Void plus Helm. The Force of Vigor could be there, good there. But Red-White Initiative is definitely a much bigger part of the metagame. And so, yeah, well, we didn't see a ton of blue decks, but I guess in the leagues, you're not going to see as much blue. In the challenges, the meta, you always end up facing a bunch of blue decks in the final rounds. So I kind of think the blue decks still are the best after LOTR. The leagues, though, I mean, it looks like Ancient Tombs strats are going to be all over the place, and so it's going to be worth adjusting. Okay, so I think after that league, you don't want to make too radical of an adjustment, but yeah, I mean, well, so one thing is that it seems like Reanimator is falling off. People have a plan for it, in that like the show and tell decks are designed not to just lose to Inevitable Betrayal, which was the case for a little bit there. And so this way, well, against Reanimator, you still have the set of endurances, and you could have Mystical Dispute in as well as just additional interaction. And you could always just Cascade into some 4/4s and beat them down with that, rather than do the Inevitable Betrayal. And yeah, I'm not sure that Inevitable Betrayal still merits 2 slots. And then, yeah, I just don't know when I'm using Force of Vigor. I mean, I have played against, there's a guy out there running Enchantress, like one person I've seen from time to time. I mean, against like 8 cast, yeah, Ancient Initiative, Painter, Brotherhood's End, and Fury are where you want to be. Yeah, Force of Vigoring things. I think maybe we can trim on Force of Vigors. This will be something to try in the next video and see how it goes. Yep. So, and then you just have Brazen Borrower's extra bounce. There's something that Force of Vigor wasn't getting. I guess maybe like Blood Moon would be the card to have in the deck somewhere if we're not going to be having Force of Vigors. So maybe we work a couple Blood Moons into the sideboard. I'll think about it. Maybe instead of the 3rd Brotherhood's End and the 4th Brotherhood's End and the 4th Fury, maybe those are 2 Blood Moons, and that's something to do against lands. Because yeah, the one matchup where I would really want Force of Vigor. And then I think this main deck for the challenge, though, is still, I think this is a pretty good main deck if you're expecting to play against blue decks. I really like the Mystical Disputes and the Murktide Regents. And to be fair, our build almost got there. We just did not at all do our thing against the final Ancient Tomb deck there, the Red-White Initiative. So, all right. Well, that's the league. We'll wrap it up there. It's 11 o'clock on Sunday night. We'll call it good. All right. Thanks for watching. All right. Have a good one. Yep.